What is microblading?
So what microblading is taking a handheld tool that has a series of needles set up in a line and making small incisions within the first layers of your skin to give hair-like texture within the eyebrows. This is a great process for people who have alopecia, that lose their hair, people who don't have very much hair, like myself, or it's very blonde, and people who have overplucked their eyebrows in the past. It gives them hair-like texture so that they have the appearance of actual eyebrows.
Is it a tattoo?
No, microblading is not a tattoo. Like traditional tattooing, you use machines such as this that are either coil-driven or rotary-driven. When it comes to microblading, we use handheld tools, and it's not as invasive as a tattoo.
How is this procedure done?
When it comes to microblading, I use this tool right here, and I open up the tip, like so, and I set a set of needles in there. It's just a straight line of needles. Let me grab one so I can show. So I put in a needle bar just like this. This sits within the grooves, and it sits out on my machine like that at an angle. And then I use the stencil that I place on the face, and I do small hair-like textures within a curve to match the shape of the face and also match the natural hair that is already there.
How long does the healing process take?
When it comes to the healing process, just like in tattoo, a cut, a bruise, it's going to vary on every client and their body. As far as healing goes, the first day after you get them done, very shocking. They're going to be enlarged because they are going to be swollen, and they are going to look a lot darker than what they will when they heal. The reason why that happens is because the ink that I use is high in iron, which is normal. It gives us the normal browns that we need to achieve the actual hair color. When this ink mixes with oxygen, it oxidizes, therefore becoming darker in appearance. So the second day after the eyebrows are done, it's kind of hard to swallow. It's like a new haircut. I went and got mine done personally the second day. I cried. It was a shock. I was very frightened that they were going to stay large and dark. They did not, however. Within a week is when you start getting the peeling. Once it starts peeling, you don't want to help it peel at all. Let it naturally peel. Do not pick anything. It'll help pull out any ink that it can, and it will create holes in your eyebrows, and we don't want that. So let it naturally peel, and then you'll realize once it peels, they will shrink down to the actual size they were when they were drawn on, and they will become a lot lighter because that oxidized layer of ink and blood and plasma will now be gone, and you'll have just some natural hair stroke textures. Along with the healing, it's very important that you keep them moisturized. I prefer Curel lotion or any other non-fragrance lotion that you're already using on your face as a daily moisturizer. That is great. If you have a hard time healing and you need something to be a little more of a barrier between, work and whatever you're doing, a small layer of A&D can also be fine throughout the day. Very, very, very thin layer though. You don't want to overcoat it. If you overcoat it, you're not allowing your skin to breathe and or heal, and that can cause infection, that can cause pigment loss, and it can just be a big mucky mess on your forehead. Along with your healing, you are going to have a red ring around your eyebrows. It's completely normal. You do not want to put any concealer to get rid of that ring, because once you're putting any kind of concealer or anything around these fresh eyebrows, that's also once again risking any kind of infection, risking, you don't want to put anything out of normal into your bloodstream or into your body. So make sure you keep all makeups away from your eyebrows while they're healing. Also, don't get any direct water on it. So it means if you have a high-powered shower or anything like that, do not turn around and put your brand new eyebrows into the water spray. It can damage your skin and be very painful. So when you're healing them, you just need to take a warm, damp washcloth and pat them. Do not scrub, pat them, and then reapply your lotion after you've cleansed them. Also, you want to stay out of direct sunlight. Direct sunlight can cause the ink to explode within the skin, and that just means that it gets out of its protective casing that keeps it within your skin, and then your skin will just absorb it because your skin is used to absorbing minerals and irons and stuff like that. So if you do go into direct sunlight, that also can risk some color loss, and we don't want that either.
How long does this procedure take?
Depending on the pickiness of my clients and myself, to draw on the eyebrows is going to take anywhere from 20 minutes to sometimes an hour, depending on how perfect we need to get them. And then once I go in, the actual procedure only takes about an hour long. Once again, this depends on how thin the hair is. It depends on what I'm working with, it depends on the shape. And I make sure that I take the time that I need to make sure that when my client leaves, their eyebrows are perfect, they're confident, and there's nothing that they need to question once they leave my shop.
How long do the eyebrows last?
So with microblading, the eyebrows last, you get your first initial thing. Within 60 days, you have to come back and get your touch up. And that's gonna fix any little imperfections or little spots that might have popped out with the scabbing or the healing process. And then after that is done, they will last you anywhere from a year to 2 years. And some people are like, oh, well, that's not really permanent. Like, why would I pay money? Well, that's the thing. When it comes to any kind of permanent makeup or alterations to your face, you don't want them to be permanent. You want to be able to change with the times. You want to be able to go thinner when eyebrows are thinner again, or you want to go fuller, or sometimes you want to change up your arch and go from a dramatic arch to maybe a softer, more approachable arch. So you want to make sure, that you can change, and by doing this process, it does allow you to change within 2 years, and it allows you to change with time, with who you are, with your environment, anything you want.
Does it hurt?
Well, just like any other invasive thing as a tattoo or scratch paper cut, there is going to be a mild discomfort. However, when it comes to microblading, I use 2 different numbing creams throughout the process. First numbing cream is strictly lidocaine, and that goes on before we draw them on, before we do anything. We clean them off, put the lidocaine, we leave it for 20 minutes. This will numb the topical part of the skin. After that, we wash it off, I draw on the eyebrows, and I make my first 10 cuts. And after my first 10 cuts, then I come in with a second stage numbing cream. Now within this numbing cream, not only is there lidocaine, but there is also epinephrine. And so the epinephrine goes into the skin and is absorbed, and it creates a white ring around the eyebrows, and once it's white, then that means it's completely numb, and so then that will continue to keep any other discomfort throughout the process from really becoming an issue. So there is mild pain within this, but it's nothing you can't handle.